Gears of War takes place on the Earth-like planet of Sera. One day, a race of reptilian humanoids called the Locusts had surfaced from the ground and invaded mankind. The governments of the world united to form the Coalition of Ordered Governments, or in short, COG. They then established a military to fight against the Locust army and save humanity from extinction. Before I tell you of the characters, here are some terms you should know. E-Day refers to Emergence Day, when locusts first appeared. A gear is the name for a soldier of the COG. The Stranded are the last remaining humans who did not join the COG and are living within the ruined outskirts of Sierra. The Hollow is a name given to the underground tunnels where locusts reside. And the Light Mass Offensive is the name of the mission to detonate a light mass bomb within the epicenter of the Hollow, which killed many locusts. Marcus Phoenix is a gear and the main protagonist of the story. He leads Delta Squad, who is responsible for the success of the Light Mass Offensive. Marcus gives the impression of a tortured soldier. He's usually an asshole full of sarcasm, but he still has a heart which he suppresses. He's identifiable by the bandana he wears on his head and the stylish soul patch facial hair. Dominic Santiago, or Dom, is Marcus's childhood friend and brother in arms. He lost his children during E-Day and is now searching for his wife, whom he believes is living among the stranded. He values family and friendship. Dom is of Hispanic descent and can be identified by his complexion and chin-strap facial hair. Maria Santiago is Dom's missing wife. They were separated during E-Day after their 2 children were killed. Ty Calisso is a gear. He's a very spiritual man who believes in destiny. He accepts his path in life, which makes him a fearless and lethal warrior. Ty's big and intimidating appearance contrasts his calm personality. He sports piercings and tribal tattoos from his homeland. Ben Carmine is a new recruit to Delta Squad. He's the only one who wears his helmet at all times, so you never see his face. He is proud to serve and wants to live up to his brothers who are also gears. The story follows Delta Squad, which now consists of Marcus, Dom, and Carmine. Before being deployed, Dom is told that the last lead on finding his wife was a dead end. He then throws an emotional fit. I believe here he effectively expresses how deeply he cares for his wife and how much hope he has of finding her alive. This could cause the viewer to sympathize with Dom. Shortly before departure, we encounter Ty and witness his bulk and personality. Marcus also mentions that Ty is really tough to kill. The narrative here purposefully makes a point of Ty's strength. The COG then deploys and is immediately attacked by the Locusts, but they still manage to reach the digging location. Ty's transport was destroyed, but he emerges from the rubble unscathed and unfazed by the loss of his squad. Once again here they emphasize on how tough he is, both mentally and physically. Ty tags along with Delta Squad, but just before dropping into the Hollow, the Locust General appears. Ty turns back to hold him off and gets left behind. In the Hollows, Delta discovers the Locusts started keeping and torturing prisoners in these metal pods. As they go deeper into the Hollow, they come across Ty again, imprisoned and tortured. Marcus tosses him a shotgun in confidence as Ty turns the weapon on himself and commits suicide. This came as a shock, as Ty was thought to be invincible until this point. It sends a clear message about how the Locusts treat their captives, which I believe is what the narrative was trying to convey. The team then discovers that a giant worm is responsible for sinking cities. They are then eaten by this rift worm shortly after. Inside the worm, Carmine is hurt and in a last dying breath asks the team for validation and to send love to his family. It was slightly heartbreaking seeing this scene, as Carmine's charm built him up to be so damn lovable, like an innocent little brother who wasn't ready for war. Although I think they should have built him up more for a bigger impact. The team decides to kill and escape the riftworm. They are then given another mission of investigating a research facility, where they learn of a locust queen and her stronghold called the Nexus. There, they encounter a group of stranded, and Dom is given another lead to finding his wife. They discover that she had been captured by the locust and quickly locate her metal pod. I believe that the purpose of Ty's death was done for this particular point in the story. We've already learned a lesson about the locust. They are capable of breaking humans as tough as tie. How would Maria survive? Nevertheless, there's still that sliver of hope of getting to her before she's tortured. And so the viewer desperately wants to know the truth, motivating them in the game. Dom opens the pod and sees his unharmed, beautiful wife step out into his arms. At this scene, we feel conflicted and misled, but also happy for him. We then learn that Dom only saw what he wanted to see, as Marcus brings him back to reality. Maria had been tortured. There was nothing left of her but her empty shell. She couldn't even recognize Dom, and he was then forced to euthanize her. I believe the use of an illusion to conflict the viewer's emotions is the strongest element in this narrative. Along with Dom's suffering and the devastating ending of his search, it is enough to bring a player to tears, and is without a doubt the highlight of the storyline. Although the unsuccessful element is that Dom had quickly moved to revenge. I get that he's a tough soldier who is used to death, but the writers could have gone further with these emotions. Instead, we were thrown right back into the serious mood of battle, and Dom is less talkative. Delta Squad then reaches the Nexus and learn that sinking Jacinto will actually flood the Locust tunnels and cripple them. They meet the Queen, who is human for reasons that are yet to be explained. She escapes. They defeat her Locust general, then return to Jacinto and destroy it, ending the storyline. I believe with how interconnected things were in the story, it's effective to start with a scene and later coming up with ways of increasing its impact by conditioning the viewer throughout the story. Also, I've learned that the more indirect an idea or message is in a narrative, the more effective it is when you use it. I had never consciously made the link between Ty and Maria's deaths until this analysis, but I felt like I've always been aware of it unconsciously. I thought this game was deserving of an analysis, as its narrative triggers an intense emotional reaction, which leaves a mark on those who play it, more so if they've already spent time with the characters in Gears of War 1. This concludes my analysis. Thank you.